Welcome back to Farm and Hammer, everyone. I've got hopefully an exciting video for you all today. As I mentioned in the last video or two, I was getting into the stocker business, and that has happened. So I bought some calves and they're out on the new rental property. So I'll show you them, give you a little more information on them. But before I do that, I gotta feed some cows. We have actually technically started our spring calving season, which was 3 weeks earlier than it should have been. But yeah, we have our first spring calves on the ground now, so I'll show you them as well. Now, don't be tearing up the bale. Some of these bales just do not want to unroll backwards. Right now I'm unrolling some corn silage bales, and I'll just say this, corn silage is pretty gross to unwrap and take the netting off. Your hands get all sticky and disgusting. But this is the first time that I've ever fed corn silage, or any kind of silage for that matter. As you guys know, we were running low on hay quite a while ago, and around here hay's $85, $90 a bale if you can find it. And my dad ended up finding some corn silage bales quite a bit cheaper. They're supposed to be 4x5s, but obviously they squat quite a bit because they're wet. But anyway, that's what we've been feeding, mixing it in with the hay to make our hay last a little longer. And these corn silage bales, they were cut while the corn is still on, so it's got quite a bit of corn in it. And cows seem to really enjoy it if I can actually unroll it. That's the problem now, is getting these things actually unrolled and spread out and not just in one clump. All right, so I unrolled the corn silage bales. As you can see, cows all left the hay. They all ran over to the corn silage. You might be able to hear all the red-winged blackbirds up there in the tree. Probably 5,000 or 6,000 of them up there. Anyway, cows are munching on this stuff. It doesn't look like much, but they'll come through here and pick out the corn, and then they'll go after all the stalks afterwards. But anyway, they seem to really enjoy this stuff. The outside of the bales, don't smell that great. But the insides smell really sweet, and the cows really go after that. So they were cut, I think, in July or August. Obviously, since the whole area was in a drought, this corn wasn't going to make a whole lot of corn, so they ended up just cutting it and turning it into silage and selling silage. So anyway, we got about 50 bales of this stuff. We're feeding them 2 a day with their hay, and stretching the hay supply out a little bit if we can. This is the one downside about silage, all the plastic. I always thought net wrap was wasteful, but now I got 3 or 4 layers of plastic on all these bales as well. Alright, so I just fed this spring calving group, and all these girls we did get preg checked not that long ago, I don't know, a month or 2 ago, and they all are bred, so they all will be having calves here soon. I'm going to try to show you guys the new calves, which may be tough to do. This is one of the mothers, and this is one of the mothers. This cow is her mother. This cow, she calved at 15 months old for the first time, and so we ended up keeping her. And then because she had calved first every year, we ended up keeping one of her heifer calves, and this cow here has turned out to be more fertile than she is, so she's calved first ever since we've had her. And both these 2 cows, mother and daughter, they calve first every year. So I'm really happy with their genetics. We'll keep every heifer we can get out of them, because it seems like they are pretty fertile. And of course their 2 calves are running away from me. I want to try to get you a video of this calf here. because I think she'll turn out to be something special. But I don't think they're gonna let me. Don't think they're gonna let me, but so this whole cow herd here wasn't supposed to start calving until March, and these calves were born at the 1st of February. So what I think happened is the neighbor, he raises seed stock Beefmasters. He's got Beefmaster bulls and cows and all that. So there was one point last year where he had a bull calf that was still on the cow, but he kept getting across the fence. I didn't think much of it. I didn't think it was big enough to do any breeding. But it turns out, I guess he was, because these two calves, they both have a little bit of ear to them. They got a little extra skin around the navel area. So I think these are out of one of his Beefmaster bull calves, or who knows, maybe his bull got across the fence one day and we didn't know it. But I'm really happy with them so far. I've always wanted to try out a Beefmaster bull and maybe switch to some black Beefmaster bulls here in the future, because my ideal calf would be a black baldy with a little bit of ear to him. So I guess we've got two calves to try out and see if we like Beefmasters, but so far so good. They came out perfect size for these smaller framed cows. Anyway, since these are both heifer calves out of our two best spring cows, we'll be keeping both these heifers and see how the Beefmaster cross does as a cow. So yeah, that should have gotten you guys caught up on the cow herd since you saw me last, and now we'll go check out the new stalker calves. Well guys, here is the first group of stalkers. I say the first group, this is actually the most recent group that I brought in. There's 15 in here. We've got some nice heifers, and we've got some Charolais steers, bulls. And then I got 3 Brahma heifers that are a little wild. And then we got 1 red steer that's also pretty wild, but getting them calmed down. This smoky heifer here and this black heifer here, those two came as a pair and they were not weaned, so they didn't know what grain was. They spent the first 5 days bawling their heads off, but now they've calmed down quite a bit. Anyway, the rest of them, there's a big black heifer there, and honestly I don't remember buying her. There were 4 calves total that were the Brahma Coriani looking heifers, and there's only 3 in here, so I don't know if they got mixed up and gave me a big black heifer that wasn't mine or what happened, but I don't remember buying her, and I feel like I was missing one of the Brahma heifers. But anyway, I should have looked at them closer before I loaded them at the sale barn. But besides that, we've got some little steers here. The little red one, I don't think he was weaned, but he was on feed when I first got him. So anyway, that's this newest group. They're gonna be let out here in a day or so, let out onto pasture. I've been keeping them in this little lot. I had a little lot made up just on the other side of this for the first 2 groups. Then after I kicked them out, I moved the corral panels over, gave them a fresh piece, and as you can tell, they've muddied it up after the rain, and yeah, we're gonna have to get them kicked out here soon. So then coming out to the pasture, you can see there's a few right here next to the electric fence. Yeah, I picked up a group of 11 black heifers at the sale barn that were all from the same farm. They turned out really good, really pleased with them, but the rest of the groups were 5 or less, and of course not weaned, hadn't had any vaccines, no shots, nothing. And like this bull here, he was a decent buy. I've got 2 in here that were for sure bottle calves. That one was a bottle calf. And then this red steer here with a hay belly, that one was a bottle calf as well. But the rest of them, they all turned out okay. There were a couple I got for 300 bucks and some were 500 or 600, but for the most part, really pleased with them. We've got one that's missing her tail, but for the most part, all these calves are just misfits that most people are not willing to pay for at a sale barn. I told you I was going to be buying high-risk calves, and that is what I have bought. And then we've got this one girl here. She has learned to get out of the electric fence, so she figured if she ducks and runs quick enough, she can get out, so she's out pretty much every day. Obviously the perimeter fence is good, but she can get out of the electric and graze wherever she wants. So anyway, luckily she's pretty calm and docile. But so I'm going to sit down here by the creek, keep an eye out for skunks, because for some reason the last couple days there's been skunks running around this property all over during the middle of the day. So don't want to get sprayed. But anyway, so just to give you some more information on these stalker calves, I've picked all these up in the last 3 weeks from 2 different sale barns. Average weight's 250 to 300 pounds, so 275 on average. There's a couple 200 pounders in there. Most of them are not weaned. There's a mix of heifers and steers. And average price, before vet fees, I think its average price was $425 a piece roughly. And then after vet fees, about $465. So I in each calf for less than $500. There were some calves I got even cheaper than that, but that is the average. So there were a couple I paid $600 for, but most were less than $500. So there's a reason why a lot of people don't buy these calves. Number one, they're unweaned most of the time. They're super lightweight. You run them through a sale barn, so they're gonna pick up all sorts of diseases on their way through. And then since they aren't weaned, they're also super stressed going through the sale barn and bringing them home. So you're looking at shipping fever, whatever other disease they pick up at the sale barn. And then they're just not normally the healthiest of calves. These are calves that have probably been neglected, not well taken care of, and need a lot of work to get them healthy and good to go. So that's kind of what I got so far. Like I said, they are high risk. I've had the vet treat all of them. He's castrated all the bulls. Oh, he's done a number of things to them before I even bring them home at the sale barn. So they've all been worked. They've been PI tested. I shouldn't have any BVD running through the herd at this point, but you never know. I've started to see some calves coughing. With that, 2 nights ago, I treated 3 of them for some sort of respiratory disease. They were coughing pretty bad, pretty lethargic, not getting around well. And then I came out last night, 2 of them were looking really poor. This morning they were dead, and then I've got one she's not looking good. So I'm guessing she'll be dead here in a couple days, but that's part of buying these high-risk calves. You're gonna lose some, and if I can keep the death loss below 5 or 6%, I should be doing okay, I think. And some of these calves that are running through the sale barn, they were taken to the sale barn for a reason. So you're getting other people's problems most of the time, and they're not always gonna be the healthiest calves. So I do bypass on calves that are clearly sick in the sale barn, but there's some that they'll act fine when they run through the ring, and when you go to load them, you can tell they're struggling with something. Anyway, so out of 49 calves, I've lost 2, and probably gonna be 3 here in a couple days. So anyway, guys, that is the information on the new stalker calves. It's been a pretty wild couple of weeks. I've had a busy work schedule, and then I'll get home at 8 or 9 at night, come out and feed these for a couple hours, check on everyone, and doctor the sick ones. So it's been a wild 3 weeks, but things should be slowing down here now that I'm getting some of the calves straightened out. But with that, it's all still super exciting, and it's a new venture for me, so it's a lot of fun. But with that, guys, more videos to come on the stalkers, more videos to come on the cow herd, because we will be having some calves hit the ground here soon, so that's exciting as well. And spring is right around the corner, so lots of stuff to look forward to. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and with that being said, I will see you all next time.